everyone, it's Desiree. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me for another video. So today I wanted to go over some of the things that I no longer do in my planners. Now, these are things that I just stopped doing. They're not things that I suggest you have to stop doing. There's actually some of these points I'm going to be bringing up that I actually want to start incorporating back into my planner routine. Yeah, so please don't take this video as like what you should do when it comes to planning, except for there is maybe like one or two that I think kind of across the board are probably a good thing to implement, but I'll go over everything, like why I stopped doing them, whether I'm going to still not do them anymore or can maybe start implementing them back into my planning style. I pulled out some of my older planners, actually my first planner, like yeah, one of the older planners that I have, so I can go over some of the things that I used to do that I definitely don't do anymore. But again, if you do these things, that's totally okay. It's just these are things that I no longer do anymore, and I feel like this is stuff that a lot of people don't do very much of anymore. This is my first spread. If you didn't know, this is my very first spread. So the first thing that I no longer do anymore is Overuse Washi. Now this spread, I think it's probably more heavy on the washi than it is on the stickers. There's a lot of washi going on here. I know I got rolls from Michael's and I had like Happy Planner rolls, and I just went to town with all the washi everywhere. Even, oh my gosh, these washi banners, those were like such a thing. Definitely don't do that anymore. Again, more like thick washi. I believe there's even one, yeah, this one, where I did like layers of washi to block out, to make like a decorative box. Look at this long strip of washi. It's so funny to go back on these spreads and see like this is my first month of planning. Yeah, it went well. But you know, this is where I started. But I definitely don't overuse washi like this now. I mean, if you see my spreads recently, I definitely tend to, you know, use it as an accent now instead of like all over the place. This is like all the washi I believe I had just slapped onto a page. I mean, I feel like it doesn't even coordinate right. Like these patterns are totally not anything I would put together. Yeah, I'm a little bit more like mindful of how I use my washi. Let me see if I have a spread that I can share with how I like to use my washi now. I do have one. Like, okay, say for instance this spread where it's just like a little touch here on the bottom, a little bit on a corner, here on a corner, there on the bottom. I used to get a lot of comments about my washi use, and which was really annoying. And I didn't stop using my washi that way because of these people who comment on my videos. It's just, you know, I started just wanting to focus more on the stickers that I was using in spreads. I didn't want like the washi to overpower the spread, especially when I do like a lot of scenes. So that's why I kind of changed up how I use washi, just to use it like more of an accent than anything else. But yeah, that's definitely something I don't do. This is something I definitely don't want to do anymore. I love using washi, don't get me wrong, but it's now more strategically placed than like placed everywhere on the spread. All right, this is another example of something I no longer do anymore. I no longer use colored pens. Now, if you love using like colored pens and markers, more power to you. For me, it just started becoming a little too much, and I feel like I don't have as much time. Back in the day, I didn't have a channel. I barely started my Instagram, and I didn't have like all these things going on where I could take the time to like pick the colors and change, you know. I mean, I guess I do kind of sort of use two pens, two different pens usually, so I am changing out pens, but I don't know, I felt like I needed to like coordinate it a little bit better. I'm just using black ink now. I solely only use black ink just because I like the way it looks. So, and also just trying to find like the right colors, because I would have to swatch them on the side and see if it coordinated with the spread, if it was what I wanted to use for these spreads, because that mattered too. Like this one I picked purple and pretty teal colors. I mean, it looks pretty. I like the way it looks. I just prefer how black ink looks. So yeah, I did a lot of color. I do want to kind of start doing highlighting again. I don't know. I kind of want to incorporate that back in. But yeah, I stopped using the colored ones. Also, I was tired of buying like all these packs of colors, and then I never used, like I would really only use a handful of them, and a lot of the colors I would never use. So that was another reason why. And a lot of them were drying out, and then felt like it was a waste of money for me. So now I just stick to black because I know I'm going to use it, and those last me forever. So yes, colored pens, colored markers. Something I don't use anymore. Maybe I'll use more so like on special pages, but in my planner, I don't plan on using colored pens or markers anymore. I love black ink too much. Definitely never blue. Never blue in my planner. I love blue ink at work, but I don't like it in my planner. So yes, strictly black ink only in my planner spreads. Another thing that I used to do a lot of, which you can kind of see in some of these spreads, I try to, you know, fancy up my lettering. Like I would do some of these, which I really like. I think this is super cute. I mean, I wish I had more time like this. I was kind of working on my lettering. I'm not really good at lettering, so I had to take my time. I was doing like faux lettering, which was basically like just darkening the downstrokes, I think. I always forget which way it is. Yeah, so making like cool little fonts, and it looks really nice. I love the way it looks with the lettering. It's just, again, it's more of a time issue for me. I don't have enough time to write fancy anymore in my planner, because you do have to kind of go slow when you're writing, and I just like to write fast. And thankfully my writing isn't terrible. So I'm happy with how my planners look with just my regular writing in my planner. And yeah, I just write normal in my planner now. I do kind of want to start playing around with lettering, because I mean, I do like the way that looks. I'm hoping, you know what, I feel like I need to make more time for myself to do something like this, because I do enjoy the way that this looks, and it is fun to, like, you know, do something a little fancy, especially like on a birthday, you know? So yeah, this is something I want to start doing again. So you might see it a little bit more, but right now, as of right now, it's not anything that I'm doing currently. But yeah, you might see me maybe doing some fun lettering. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I just see like all this marker and like how awful it looks. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it looks really, it's like so much bleeding and like dark spots, and I'm surprised it didn't bleed through the page. Oh my goodness. It's a lot, but it's cute. I like looking back at these older spreads. These are a lot of fun to look back at. All right, so back in the day, I used to put everything in this planner. This was my only planner. I didn't have a mini. I didn't have any of my other types of planners, so everything kind of went in here. And I used to really like to put habit trackers in my planner, which that's something I don't do anymore. I kind of want to start doing it again. Yeah, I have like these habit trackers, a little section for meal planning. Yeah, I always put like no spends. It's so funny. I didn't realize I did that as much as I did. I mean, I kind of want to do this again, like a habit tracker, but I don't think I want to put it back in my planner. I think I might want to make it like a separate section in my Franken planner. So like I have some like a note section. Maybe I can do like a habit tracker type of page for the month over there. Because I like the idea of habit tracking. I just don't really care for it on my planner. So I don't know why. I just don't like, I mean, I used to love doing it, but I don't like it anymore, and I don't ever put them in my planner because they do always have to go on the sidebar. And for me, I feel like they have to go on the sidebar because I don't want them like on a day unless I put a habit tracker on every day, you know? So I do tend, well, in the past, I would put them on the sidebar. And I just feel like that takes up too much room. I like having my long sidebar of things that I can do on the side. So yeah, that's something that I do want to do, just in a different way. So maybe you'll see something about that in the future. But as of right now, I don't do habit tracking at all in my planner. But it is something I do want to put back in my planning system. Okay, and then I think this last one, it's definitely something that I don't plan on ever doing again. And it's something that I hope you all, you know, choose to not do too. But back in the day, I used to really kind of stress out if I didn't fill in my planner with like all the things and make it look completely full. And like, I didn't want like any white space anywhere. Like, oh my gosh, if I didn't fill out a spread, I don't even think that happened back then, because I was like on it, like checking things off, like kind of just stressing about like making sure everything was done, because I was posting all this stuff online and I didn't want people to think like I'm not using it or doing the stuff. And yeah, it became a lot. And then I got like super, super busy. And sometimes, to be honest, like, you know, sometimes this will be like a normal spread. I mean, in the past, I would have been like, oh my gosh, all this empty space. I should have had more plans to fill this in. But now I don't even worry about that. Like, whatever gets in this planner, whatever I check off, whatever I don't check off, it is what it is. And sometimes I have weeks where it's like this, where like I have this amazing, beautiful spread and I didn't even use the last half of it. Like, yeah, I feel like the past like year or two, of course, like we all struggled with like no plans and stuff. So it was kind of hard to fill in plans when you don't have anywhere to go. But like, yeah, I just let it be now. I don't stress out when I haven't filled in a spread. Sometimes I'll go back and fill in what I remember. Even that, like sometimes I don't even get to that, and that's okay. Sometimes I don't check things off, and that is fine. You know, sometimes I have a nice like week like this. Looks a little bit more filled in, and yeah, sometimes it'll be a week like this where I have a completed spread and I didn't even use it. I mean, you know, it happens. I don't stress about it anymore if it does happen, and it's okay if it does happen, you know. Sometimes the planner works for me in a week, but sometimes I'm just so like busy and things are happening that I just don't even have time. Yeah. Gets a little crazy. You know, I go back to it and it's all good. So I don't stress about not filling in my planner anymore. I love the whole part of just decorating it. Like this part just makes me so happy. This creative part, making content, and of course using my planner, but sometimes it doesn't happen and that's okay. And I don't stress about it anymore. Yeah, and I'm not ashamed of it anymore like I used to be. But yeah, so don't worry if you don't fill in your spread or if you don't check off all the things. It's all good. And just the fact that I was able to decorate this is more than enough for me, like to be able to make a really pretty spread. And even though like in the past, you know, I have these planners like this one right here where it's all filled in and it looks all cute and stuff. And I love flipping through these, but I mean, it's okay to flip through an empty spread too. So yeah, I've come to terms with that sometimes that's going to happen and it's okay. So yeah, that's probably the only thing that I would suggest you should do, is just not stress about empty spreads, unchecked items, you know, it's all good. The next week you can do all the things and hopefully it all goes to plan, but it's okay if it doesn't. But yeah, those are all the things I can think of that I do, that I wanted to point out that I don't do anymore in my planner. I'm sure there's other things, but those were the the big things that I noticed when I was looking back at my older spreads and just like seeing how I used my planner in the past. It's always fun to look back at these, like, wow. This is so, but this looks cool. Like, you know, it's fun to look back and to see like how I planned out all the things in here. Yeah, I love it. All right, so that is gonna be it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, please hit that subscribe button. And I hope to see you all in the next one.